Hello, viewers. It's your favorite place, Beloved's Corner. Today we have interesting things to discuss. Thank you for patronizing. Today, what are we going to look at? We've been discussing courtship. Now, we want to know who a beloved is. In simple terms, when you read Songs of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 16, Solomon said, "My beloved is mine and I'm his." So the beloved, we term, it's for a guy and a lady who intends to be in a relationship that will drive them into marriage. A beloved is a person with whom you have a relationship which intends to end up in marriage. In other words, he or she is the man or woman you have officially agreed to marry. That's why we've been saying that you don't say you are in a relationship with a person if the gentleman has not asked you to marry him and you have also not given the answer yet. We therefore advise the young men and women not to have close relationship with the opposite sex, which are not intended for marriage. Why? The reason being that as close as you stay together with the opposite sex, the tendency that eros or erotic love would evolve is very, very high. When you stay close to a gentleman, that's a girl stay very close to a gentleman, doing things together, going places together, if you are not careful, you end up also in bed if you are not extremely careful. So if you don't intend to enter into marriage, don't give yourself that challenge of being too close to the opposite sex. Would also like to know how you can be sure of the one you want to marry. How can you be sure? When you read 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21, it reads, "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good." What does this mean? It means that have time to know each other. And then when you realize that, no, this is good for me, I have to get it by all means, then you are ready to commit yourself. Emotional commitment comes with a responsibility. And young people out there, I would urge you to be very, very careful. Tread cautiously when you are in such relationship. We love you and we want you to have the best. The best is the goal. The best is our vision. The best is our aim. So before you commit yourself to a gentleman or a lady to walk this path, please be extremely careful. Because Rebecca was asked whether she was prepared to go with the servant of Abraham, and she replied, yes. Yes, meaning she had counted the cost. There are some things we have to consider when choosing a beloved then. The fact that the parents of your friend are ministers of the gospel of Christ doesn't mean that the person is also a pastor. He's just a pastor's child. And you therefore don't treat or think that because the father is a pastor, the child is automatically saved. No. Take your time to find out who he or she is. It's very, very important. If you think the parents are well-to-do, so the child automatically is also that much wealthy, you'll be surprised. Please take your time to distinguish between the two. Do not marry just because your parents say you should or intend that you marry his friend's son or his friend's daughter. Take your time to know who you want to be with forever, because marriage is about friendship, it's about commitment, and you have to marry your friend. You shouldn't marry a stranger. You cannot cope. Most at times, you put yourself through a lot of problems. If you marry too early in life, know that you wouldn't have the chance to live that youthful life again. Immediately you marry, you commit yourself to be responsible, to be committed to the home, you have to know that you are selling your freedom in other words. And the freedom I mean is that you can't go out with friends and stay out late or partying here and there. If you are committed to a person in terms of marriage, you have to be there for the person at all times. So it takes a lot of consideration to enter into such relationships. The fact that you don't speak the same language should tell you that there's a difference. And how do you cope with this difference? You have to love the people of your spouse to be. You have to love the man that you intend to commit to. You have to love the people of the woman you intend to share your life with. Will you be in a position to manage financially? What is your monthly income, daily income? Do you think you can take care of somebody's daughter? That is to the gentleman. I'm asking this because it's the husband who should provide for the home. The lady comes to help, but it's the duty of the young man who has found a woman to marry. It's the duty of the husband to provide for the family. He's the head of the family. And when you love your family, you would spend on your family. When you love the lady, you would want to take very good care of the woman. Where are we going to sleep? What are we going to sleep on? What are we going to do to help us build a positive home? What are we going to do to raise our kids? How best are we prepared to take good care of our family? We have to therefore be very, very careful, circumspect in choosing who we want to put up with. Not necessarily the person earning so much, but then the little you should be able to manage at every stage of your life. Tribal differences. You have to know the people, what they seem or deem as very important. You should also take it into consideration, because some tribes would not accept anything as being normal. Some of the things that are accepted in your family might be a taboo in the family of the lady or gentleman you are getting involved with. So know the tribal differences. Disparity in levels of education. I've mentioned this in other episodes, and I want to stress on the fact that if there is the need to help your beloved to attain a certain level of education, do that with all your heart, your support, prayer, your understanding, and all that, so that the two of you can have a happy life together. There's one thing that would help us. As soon as we think of putting up with someone we care for, it will be better we know where the person fellowships, because I assume I'm talking to Christians. This is a Christian program. Our foundation is the Word of God. You have to know the pastor of the lady, the pastor of the gentleman, your kin to be. You have to find out what he or she does in church, his commitment level, her commitment level. What at all does he do in church? Is he a lover of the things of God? Because without the Word of God, I have to stress on this point, without you allowing the Spirit of God to direct you, marriage will be very, very difficult, because it is a union between two good forgivers. Even in your relationship as friends and courting to marry, if you don't learn to forgive, it will not end up in marriage. Take this from me, because there will be times that you'll be disappointed in any acts or words from a loved one. To ascertain if some people are married already, this brings us to the importance of traditional marriage. Because if you want to marry someone, you have to see the parents, you have to meet them and the family members, and they would tell whether the person has already committed to someone. So don't let us dodge that aspect of the courtship. You have to know the parents, and they have to give you the nod before you can take the loved one to the altar. To ensure that all such relationships are not hidden, let the gentleman see your trusted friend, maybe your mentor in church, or the pastor in church, or a shepherd. Nowadays we use the term shepherd. Shepherd meaning someone who oversees your spiritual life. So you have to be open. Let there be a witness, so that this gentleman doesn't take advantage of beautiful young ladies, break their hearts anyhow, and then leave them to go and suffer. To get to know the couple better. You need, as a mentor, you need to meet them one-on-one to discuss issue, how they met, how long they've known each other. You have to also encourage them to know their HIV status. Before you commit to someone, friends, it is very, very important. These days, science has made it so easy for us to know our sickling status. What is sickling at all? If you are sickling positive and then your partner is also sickling positive, or they are carriers, you can give birth to a sickling child, and it's so difficult to raise such children. Why do you cause yourself this pain? There's faith, yes. Faith can let you have children who are not sickling, but why do you just test God? Please, if you want to commit to a lady, before you propose and the lady accepts, if you agree or you are rest assured that you care for each other, check your sickling status, check your HIV status, check hepatitis. Let the other party know if you have any sickness like epilepsy, anything that would affect the relationship, let your partner know. And it's very, very important. If you know that your partner is sickling positive and you are also a carrier, please avoid coming together, because it will be so difficult to manage a sickling child. Now, what do we do as counselors to also help the young not to step into dangerous grounds? We have to get involved. We have to be available for them. We have to empathize with them. Now, the world has become so much of social media, fever. There's so much information for them, but do they really understand the practicality of this information? Now, it's like every company is trying to manufacture things that would enhance male performance, forgetting about the females, that we also need affection, we also need to be happy. And this is destroying the reproductive system of the young people, causing them to produce a lot of sperm, wasting it before they get involved with women to marry them. So please, let us not encourage them to be depending on these aphrodisiacs to enhance their performance. You've not gotten to that stage yet. You are not yet 70 years, for Christ's sake. Please, let us desist from such practices. Let us stop believing in these bitters that is all over, and all the drugs that people smuggle into this country to destroy the lives of the young. And let me tell you, God has given you enough energy to enjoy your life with your married partner, with your wife. Please, you don't need extra mile. It takes a process. It takes communication. It takes so many steps to make your wife very happy and for her to be assured of your love and consent. There's some of the do's and don'ts in courtship. Avoid hugging, holding and kissing. Don't even try sitting on the lap of your loved person who you haven't committed to in terms of bringing the person to the altar. If you do these things, it will lead you into fornication, which you will not be happy after all. You don't have to stay indoors alone with your beloved for long periods of time. When you sense danger, it will be better to go out for fresh air. Don't be alone in isolated places or at odd places at odd times. And you don't have to put your hands into places that you have no business doing anything there. You don't have to sleep or lie on the bed of the one you are yet about marrying. You don't undress in the presence of your beloved or your wife-to-be or your husband-to-be with the pretense that we are born-again Christians and nothing will happen. Don't even try it. Don't try it. You don't have to touch the breast and genitals of each other. And you don't have to have sex with your beloved when you are not married. These are some of the little things that we do that destroy the trust that we would have enjoyed during courtship. Because you look back and you are grateful and you are thanking God for a fruitful and a successful courtship. Ladies and gentlemen, let us abide by these simple rules and we will be happily married ever after. You have to know these things so that your relationship will end well. If you don't take caution in dating ladies or gentlemen, you will end up sleeping with every young and potential person that comes your way. You end up sleeping with them and they will not marry you in the long run. And you feel offended, used, and abused. Ladies and gentlemen, for this time, we have touched on a few things that we have to know what to do, what not to do. Thanks for your time. We'll come your way with other interesting topics. Thank you.